People might think, who needs a small fire or a dim light of candle when we have already got sunshine or high-tech lights? This stigma is what becomes a very poor guideline for the society that small things will not result in big things. Like a child who is deemed unable to do big things for the world. An example comes from 2 years ago. A 15-year-old girl protested in front of the Swedish parliament instead of going to school. This girl was Greta Thunberg, and that was the start of our school strike for the climate movement. Each week, children from all over the world can follow suit not to attend school on Fridays and then stage climate change related to the protest. Now, according to Kids Grid, Greta's courage has inspired a global climate strike. The action was held 4.638 times in 139 countries. That is the impact. It burns another candle and another inspiration of movement. For example, a 16-year-old boy named Leah Namugerwa is known as a climate warrior in Uganda. He has a campaign against plastic bags and joined the climate movement after being inspired by Greta Thunberg. That action that benefits the world comes from a young child, a young person who we think cannot take care of themselves or himself is taking care of the world by campaigning against plastic and against climate change. So, is that enough to have a big movement? Maybe yes, but maybe no. Like a candle burning with inspiration for progress and others may return to. So let's come back to our own beloved country. In records and references, why does it work there but not work here? Our stereotype. The stereotype that grows among children in Indonesia is that they depend on their parents, or in other words, they cannot do big things alone or decide big things alone. For example, they cannot decide what they want to do, or their hobby, or even their dreams. In environmental movement, could activists give significant impacts? No, they can't. They will never have a significant impact. Not with our support, not with their place to share. How will they have an impact if they are silenced when they speak? So what's holding them back? It's us. It is our perception that a young child cannot do big things for Indonesia, especially child who are considered even unable to take care of themselves. Our lack of faith in them and exposure for them to share, to shine, and to burn another candle to give a new light in Indonesia's low views of young children. They may not have a big impact on environmental issue in Indonesia. According to facts and details, such as climate change and greenhouse effect. But a little impact could create new stigma. The impact for children's psychological development will change starting from the pattern of thought and attitudes, a new perspective that will be useful when they grow up, about saving the world and taking care of the earth. It will also open the elderly's view of an action such as climate change. Ross's Rona says that about 1/4 of the adults in 2018 survey's response suggests that child activists could remind adults to save our future generation, and feeling guilty that the thought that the most important reason to act on climate change was to provide a better life for our children and grandchildren. That response suggests that child activists could remind adults to save our future generation. So, what we can do to burn the fire in those little candles? Give them exposure. Give them a fire of enthusiasm and trust. give them exposures of place to share, to make a movement, and join their movement. Support them that they will not fight alone. For example, when we were in elementary school, when the teacher told us to collect plastic bottles to be recycled as flower pots, or movement of planting trees together while in school to maintain our environmental balance. We can join these activities of movement. We can give them place and time to learn and to share environmental movement. From this small action, they did not have a lot of impact, but they will have one small impact, namely an understanding of protecting the environment since childhood. Child activists are not really expected, because what is expected is the understanding that will be applied when they grow up. This is the small fire that we must literally continuously ignite, the young child's understanding of environmental movement. Dear my audience, my beautiful candles, a small fire and a dim light of a young child might not give the world enough to light. But the small action of burning candle, it can burn you and the world. Thank you.